Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Nian Honglin with Steve in the studio. Hello, Steve.
Hey, how you doing this time?
Doing very well. I feel young. And maybe because it's spring, summer period of time, things are getting warmer and you see a lot of different types of flowers. It's very refreshing and bringing the brighter side of my personality out.
Is that to say that your personality dies a cold death
During winter,
in the winter
dark
time,
winter time.
And you feel the age of a vampire?
It's not that extreme, but don't you feel that sometimes season can have that effect on you?
I don't know if it makes me feel younger. It definitely puts a little extra bounce in my step. I'm a little more encouraged to go outside. And yeah, I guess when you put it that way, I never thought about it before, but it can make you feel a little more energetic, which can make you feel a little more youthful.
Thinking about it, it's also might be because that I've been engaged with some young friends these days, you know, in their early 20s. I talk to some interviewees and also some new friends and even new colleagues in the office, and talking to them reminds me of when I'm in my 20s, what I was thinking. And it's a strange yet inspiring experience.
I feel mentally sometimes I'm still trapped in my 20s. And even
Is that a good thing you're describing?
I might be the wrong person to ask about that. I feel that it has its advantages, and it probably has its disadvantages as well. I wouldn't say it's as extreme as Peter Pan syndrome. Have you heard of that? You never grow up. I wouldn't say it's as extreme as that, but there's something about being alive, just the simple fact of being alive, that makes me want to maintain a youthful spirit and a youthful attitude toward life.
Definitely. And you can think of a lot of perks. Being young, you're fearless, you still haven't tried a lot of things, meaning that you haven't failed a lot of things and you haven't been disappointed by yourself at being not good enough at certain things.
Sure.
And you can still work on improving certain aspects of your life, and you're still very much innovative, not to talk even mentioning the fact that you are physically very much energetic all the time. You can stay up late till very, very late and still do not feel like crap the other day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one difference, isn't it? I enjoy talking to younger people as well. But one thing that maybe is a little bit different is the developing language that comes with being young. And I think maybe in your teen years or preteen years, there's an entire vocabulary that gets developed that doesn't get shared with the older generation. It exists within their own group. So one of the great things about perhaps getting older is you refine your way of speaking to become more articulate or more eloquent in your style. Not to say that young people can't be that way, but it is to say that there's a whole list of words that sometimes when I watch videos on the internet, and they're speaking English, by the way, I don't know what they're talking about. They may as well be speaking German.
And it happens in different scenarios, in the sense that maybe for a certain neighborhood community, they have created a certain word that is trendy for the coming 2 weeks or 2 months. And it's their code, almost code language. And in other scenarios, what you said very spontaneously and didn't plan it out, yet it all of a sudden becomes something that is trendy on the internet, and the entire country, people in your age, is talking about it already.
Oh, I mean, the easiest example that comes to mind for me as of late from the West is that 6-7 annoying phenomenon that happened.
It is a little annoying.
I don't understand but it's part of being young. I think that when you're young, you have a few things that are special to yourself. And the vocabulary, the expressions that come out of nowhere, out of thin air almost. That's part of it. And it makes you feel as if this is ours, right? That younger generation, this language belongs to us. And when older generations try to use that language,
it's just awkward and
it's
sad.
cringe. It's cringe.
Cringe is a good word.
And it was true when I was a teenager, too. I remember being in high school and we had our own little cool catchphrases or whatever. And when our teachers tried to use those catchphrases, we were just like, ew, don't do that, please. Or when your parent tries to be cool and speak your language, then you're like, gross, Dad. Don't talk like that, please. I remember, this isn't language related, but when I was in high school, you know, there was this like little trend of like wearing your hat backwards, right? And all the cool kids were doing it. So I started doing it. And my father, who I think was just a tremendous parent, my dad never told me, don't do that, don't do this, don't do anything. He never said it. What he would do is he would mimic me. So I got in the car one day, and my dad, who had picked me up from school, he was driving, and he was wearing his hat backwards. And I was like, what are you doing?
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's ruining it. Because he didn't want me to do it.
Very smart parent.
And rather than tell me,
Smart.
don't do that, he just started doing it himself. And I said, don't do that, please. And he was like, do what? He's like, oh, I just saw this on TV, and I thought it looked pretty cool, so I thought I'd start doing it too.
So
I was like,
smart.
Oh, I hate you
That's
so much.
good parenting.
Yeah.
Good parenting.
Yes.
But another scenario here in China, especially I think on the internet, is that there are certain expressions and also certain concepts that are not created for the purpose of sounding cool among only my peers. That's something I feel like more often observed in reality in the classroom.
What do you mean?
In your friend circle, you want to talk to your friend in these kind of slang language. But on the internet, sometimes young people, they create some expressions that carry some of their spirit, their perspective, their way of looking at the world. And they do not mind other people using it because they do not really know those who are using it are young or not because you're behind the screen.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it's like creating trendy expressions. And these trendy expressions are usually created by the younger generation. And they carry different types of sentiment. And sometimes, for example, I know one. This one is particularly related to a feeling that I feel like many people would have. It's called 开团秒跟. 开团 秒
meow like a cat.
not like a cat, like a second.
Meow.
一秒 1 second.
Yep.
跟
Gun.
means follow.
Okay.
So 开 is to start.
开团秒跟.
开团秒跟. Okay, so this is an expression, but it's also talking about, I think, a kind of situation. Let me paint the picture for you. So you and your wife, you're in a restaurant. She has been...
What kind of restaurant?
You just want to pick a good restaurant and take her to a good date.
Hot pot.
Hot pot works. You're in a hot pot restaurant and she's been complaining about the food not being fresh enough because you want fresh ingredients to taste good in the hot pot, very
Yes.
importantly. And she's been complaining about it. And you decided to talk to the waiter and talk about the fact that you think this is not okay. You want to return it. And because I know your wife, she's lovely. And I'm pretty sure the moment you start talking to the waiter, she will back you up. She will say things like, yeah, I think my husband is definitely right. I taste something fishy with the vegetable as well.
Yeah.
I think you need to return it. Now, if you're going with an annoying friend, what your friend did is that he or she, maybe he, has been continuing talking about how the food is not good enough. And you don't even care that much, but you decided to stand out for him. And you talk to the waiter. And when the waiter say, no, I think they're fine. Maybe it's you tasting things a bit, strange today. It's not the food. Maybe it's you. And your friend suddenly say, maybe. I find them fine. So your friend, instead of backing you up, decided to compromise your
Even though when the waiter wasn't there, they were saying
complaining as well.
these vegetables are not fresh at all.
So what I'm describing is a kind of situation that people on the internet really, really, really do not like.
And
That
this is 开团秒跟.
开团秒跟 is the positive one. It's the one that
That's where they back you up.
When they back you up. Because 开 carries the meaning of open or start. 团 is a team. So 开团 means to initiate a team action. And now it refers to the attitude of instantly participating in an activity or conversation started by someone on social media. So because we talked about 秒 being a second, 跟 being follow. So I see you starting something and I want to join your team to back you up, to support you.
Oh, so second not meaning like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, like on a clock.
It does mean that.
Oh.
So this means like within a minute, I decide to follow you, to back you up, to give you my support because we're really good friends or because I agree with what you're saying here.
In English, we have an expression. I don't know if it works here or not, but it's this. I got your back.
It is like that, but we have that in Chinese as well. But this one, don't you find it really vivid?
Well, yes, but how do I... So in this context of at the hot pot restaurant, then when I'm complaining to the waiter, does my wife speak these words? 开团秒跟?
No, these words are used to describe the situation. So you can use it to describe a friend. For example, 他是那种开团秒跟的朋友. So basically, when you say that, 他是 he or she is 那种 the kind of 朋友 friends who 开团秒跟.
Yeah,
the idea is that because nowadays people talk about the fact that for some people, they can always see both sides. But when you're a friend, you should not be seeing both sides.
Right, yes.
You should be on your friend's side.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so this is describing someone and a type of expected behavior.
Yes, and it's talking about the kind of phenomenon also not only in reality, but on social media. On social media, when you are talking about a, for example, idol of yours or a certain celebrity or an idol or your stance on a certain story or a situation, and you want to be backed up by people you might not know on the internet. Sometimes they will say, oh, 开团秒跟, I will definitely go into the situation and support you, or I like this comment and I am one of those who believe in this, and that's why I am also leaving a comment under yours to support you. Something like that.
Yeah, okay, so you're not talking about... this isn't a sentence that you say to someone. It's not like saying, I have your back.
No.
I got your back. Okay, you're describing something. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
I understand.
And it's funny because this phenomenon is not novel at all. It has been there in all cultures, I think, for a really long time. In China, we even have very elegant way of saying this. For example, in Chinese, we have 一唱一和. 唱
一唱一和.
Yes, 唱 means to sing, and 和 basically means to respond. So call and response. So I feel like 开团秒跟 is like the digital version of 一唱一和. Less poetic, but more fun because I think it might originated from video games, online video games.
It was an expression from a character or something?
No. It's because in online video games, usually when you're trying to play a team battle or something, you have to definitely start that. I don't know.
You need the support from your team.
Yes.
Yeah, especially with these online fighting games.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. 开团秒跟.
开团秒跟.
So this is new to the Chinese language, this terminology?
Oh, definitely. I'm pretty sure it's not in a dictionary just yet, even though that our dictionary updates itself every single year. So this one is new and it started with gamers.
Have you heard it in the office? Because you could use it in an office scenario, right? Like,
you can.
If you have some kind of, I don't know, dispute with your boss and then your coworker says, because your coworker will, like, no, this person was right. I was there. I saw what happened. Like that kind of thing.
I haven't heard it in the office just yet, but I have seen it so many times on the internet. I think maybe it's because it's still a little bit jokingly.
Yeah.
Yet I find it quite an interesting kind of language. And the reason we're sharing these is particularly that because if you're coming to China, you're using Chinese in the Chinese society, you will encounter certain words, vocabulary expressions. But if you're not in China just yet, you haven't visited just yet, you're on the internet talking to Chinese people, or maybe just reading the kind of comments posted by Chinese people,
You might come across this.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you might find it a little strange, but it's actually describing something that is very, very common.
Yeah,
And-
people like these type of people, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. And another fun expression, I think we have come across this one already in one of our Word of the Year episode. That is 活人感. Do you still remember it?
活人感.
活人感, the super, human feeling. This one is a living human. The feeling that this person is not a figure from a book, is not someone who is replying with no emotion attached at all, but you read what they said, or you listen to their stories, or you watch a work, a video, or a movie made by them, and you feel like, wow, they're real living people just like us. 活人感.
活人感.
活人感, yes.
Real living people just like us, meaning that they are not more special?
No, meaning that they are not fake in the sense that they have feeling and they're not perfect, but they are just like us.
I got it. 活人感.
活人感. We've talked about this one as well because I think for even my previous generation, not even my generation, my previous generation, when we portray some, for example, heroes, they're flawless. They,
Yes.
right? They're perfect. They're always giving and there's nothing they can do wrong. But we all feel like when someone is too perfect, they're not real. And for this age, for this generation, the reason that they're talking about 活人感 is because of artificial intelligence.
What's the connection?
When AI is there, when a character is created by AI, or when you're interacting with AI, you do not feel the 活人感 anymore.
You don't feel like you're talking to an
A
actual
real person. Yeah. So no matter if it's because it's too perfect or because it's just reacting with no emotion, no attachment. It's just lack of 活人感.
So this would be, can I say this like in a sentence where, yeah, AI is probably the perfect example, right? I'm trying to think of a different context.
You can say, 我喜欢他是因为他很有活人感. 我喜欢他, I like him or her as a celebrity or a star. 是因为 because 他很有活人感. He or she always perform like a real person in the public. They do not try to say things like, oh, I do not think about how to lose weight because I'm just this perfect. They respond in a way that is like a real person.
We have an expression in English. I don't know if we only say this about girls or if it applies to boys, but we have this expression, the girl next door. And there are certain actresses or singers, and that expression will come out where people say like, oh, I just feel like they are the girl next door, meaning they could be your neighbor. That's the kind of character they have, or at least the kind of character they show in the media. I'm thinking that's kind of something
it's close.
similar.
I think it's close, but 活人感 can also apply to the real diva, the superstars. No
Why?
matter, because it does not matter whether their quality fits the girl next door kind of image. It's more about the fact that they're genuine.
Okay, even if that genuine behavior is bad? There's a famous singer, I won't say her name, but I used to work with a flight attendant, and she told me that, and you would know who this singer is. She got on the plane one day, and her personal assistant said, do not make eye contact with her.
I don't think that applies to this
Is that
situation.
火焰感?
No. That's the
genuine.
opposite.
It's genuine.
It's the opposite of 火焰感.
But it's genuine.
You're right. I think what I described earlier was not perfectly fitting with 火焰感.
I'll tell you off air who that is, by the way.
The idea is that you show who you really are. You do not hide behind a perfect mask.
But it has to be positive.
火焰感 is positive.
Okay, I understand.
Yes, it's definitely positive.
Yep, I understand. There's a famous actor in Hollywood. He's Canadian, and he's known for, he's world famous, but he still takes the subway.
Oh, that's definitely 火焰感.
People see him on the subway from time to time, and that's how he travels around. He just doesn't act like a Hollywood celebrity. So that's 火焰感.
That's 火焰感. And I think if we say that both 火焰感, 开团秒跟 are something that, in fact, all age groups can relate to, then this one is something that I didn't think of, at least, before knowing this word, but now I find it quite interesting. I want to ask you, do you think sometimes, well, you might think sometimes young people want to be a bit unique, a bit special, a bit different from the majority? They want to be the niche group. That's what's cool.
Well, I think it's just part of growing up, perhaps, that your sense of self is developing. So I don't know if that's an individual trait or if it's a group trait. Perhaps it can be a group trait because does this happen in China too? Because like Gen Z, Gen X, the baby boomers, the younger generation will always make fun of the older generation somehow, some way.
And they would find some hobby that is so niche that no one else around them in real world understands, and they're okay with it. They want to stay alone, digging in their little world, figuring out what are some certain details in the little hobby that they concentrate on.
So that happens in China too?
Definitely. But the thing about China is the country is simply too big, and you cannot really have a niche hobby because the moment the moment you go onto the internet and you see whether or not there's someone sharing the same hobby of mine,
there's going to be a million other people.
There's definitely going to be some people, but I think it's a good thing. Finding your peers is something important.
Yeah, and that can be the positive side
definitely.
Of that because there's guaranteed to be a group that you can be a part of.
Yes, and they're fine as long as they figure that these people, as long as they really identify with these people, as long as they really find these people truly understands their hobby, not pretending to understand, they can really share insights. The reason I'm talking about this is because of a new word, expression that I have recently learned. It's called 学术底刊.
学术
底刊.
底刊.
学术底刊 is a interesting concept. So 学术 means academic, and 底 is bottom, and 刊 refers to 刊物 or the kind of journal. So 学术 is academic and 刊物 journal. So together it's kind of like a academic journal, but 底 refers to the very worst, the very worst level. So it's kind of like bottom tier academic journal.
How is this a trendy word then?
It is very, very funny. So for researchers, we know that they wanted to publish their results, the research results, in the best out of the best journals.
Okay.
And because they're the best of the best, we call it 顶刊.
顶
is the top of something. So 学术顶刊 is a relatively serious expression. It's talking about the world-renowned, the premier journals like Nature, Science, Cell, these academic journals.
So is this when your academic paper gets published in like Dog Weekly?
No, it's not even that. It's something.
No disrespect to the writers of Dog Weekly, if that's a thing.
If you're talking about dogs, and it's okay to be in Dog Weekly, right? If you're writing about dogs. No, it's something funny they create by themselves in the sense that they are not really publishing certain things. They are being super creative, and it's a kind of a joke in the sense that those researchers, they've been in the researching world for too long and they're doing the serious job, the science and all the different types of experiment and try to push the limit for human perspective or human knowledge in certain area. And it's stressful. So what they do for fun is that they find a issue or a question or anything they want to study, but this thing is a non-topic, and they study the topic and they seriously discuss it or research on it using a very scientific approach, and they publish, quote unquote, publish the result in the kind of made up journal they created. They call this journal Call, mimic cell. And they call these journal, for example, instead of calling it Nature, they're naming it Nurture.
Okay.
So they're making fun of it. And they're also even calling it rubbish, like a journal rubbish, because it's not serious.
What types of topics are we talking about?
A lot of very funny topics. One very interesting one is that, well, for example, one paper asks, should Optimus Prime buy car insurance or personal accident insurance?
And then they take that topic seriously.
Very, very seriously, using very scientific approach to study it and to present it in these quote-unquote journals.
Right.
And there's another one talking about sensory simulation of durian based on gluten network remodeling of wheat matrix. I do not even understand.
I don't know what that is either. Yeah.
But it sounds very scientific. And someone even built a website called Web of Nothing, a spoof of the academic database Web of Science, just to, index these papers. So these papers even have index. It's done in a very serious way.
Yeah.
But talking about nonsense topics.
It's kind of funny, though, isn't it? Because even when the academics are trying to take a break from being academic, they can't stop being academic. They just change the topic.
Oh, I haven't thought of that.
They just change it to something lighter or maybe not as serious.
Yeah, I think it's their very own way of being humorous, being fun, being playful.
Yeah.
In a very, in my opinion, attractive way. I don't know if this reminds you of the Big Bang Theory, the TV show, not the theory itself.
Oh, okay.
Because I think starting from there, more and more people acknowledge the fact that smart is the new sexy. It is from that point, I see more and more people saying being smart is actually, being a nerd is actually attractive in its own way, because you're able to do things in a way that can, in the future, change maybe the development path of human society. And that's cool.
It is cool, yeah. I don't know if it's worth the amount of time and energy that they put into the papers, but if they need to do that to kind of chill out and take the pressure off, release the pressure from their regular work, then it's absolutely worth it for them.
Yes, and of course they're making jokes and having fun, and from the very beginning I thought whether or not they're mocking doing science-related work itself, but then I realized it's not about that. It's to start with about self-mocking a little bit, and on the other hand, it helps them find their peers, because I think being a scientist is really, really lonely. When you are studying a certain subject, only you yourself and the handful of people in your team might be able to talk to you. They would understand each other, and that is the price of being the top-notch scientist.
I suppose if your friend group existed of people who are not in the same field of study or even researchers themselves, you might find it hard to connect.
Precisely, and that is why I think this is actually a very good way to connect. They're using the language they understand to talk to each other, and not only to each other, but also to netizens online. We will definitely laugh at Transformers buying a car insurance.
It's true.
We understand the humor is their way of release the pressure, of having some fun, while in a very strange way, educating people about how scientific research is done.
If they created a website of those types of research papers, that would be a way for them to connect with the non-science public.
Yes.
Who typically wouldn't be interested in or perhaps even be smart enough to understand the stuff that they typically write about.
I will definitely check out these kind of
Me
journals,
too.
these kind of 学术底刊.
学术底刊.
There are many expressions like this that I didn't used to understand, but now I do. It's because we're launching a new little series called the China Code.
A mini series, really short episodes, right?
Yes, and it's talking about explaining these kind of expressions that are trendy among the younger generation here in China. And we believe it's a good window for us to understand what they're thinking, what's their preferences, and also a little bit of how they are reacting to the development of the society and of the world today.
Yeah, I think it's a really good learning opportunity that takes very little of your time, only a few minutes to listen to one episode. So it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, so if you like it, just go look for The China Code, both in video forms and podcast forms. We have a lot of these kind of expressions. They suddenly become very, very trendy and popular, and after a while, they fade away like tides.
Sure.
And it's fine. I think the funny thing about studying these expressions is that from each and every one, the creation of it, the popularity of it, and how people use it, you kind of open a small window to see this generation of young people on the internet, to understand their perspective a little bit, to know deep down they have their own struggles, but they also have their own very smart ways to deal with the problems. And they have their own way to kind of get back on their feet. They may mock the fact that they do serious scientific research every single day, but it's not because they do not like the subject. They do not love the subject. It's only because the pressure is there and they find a way to release that pressure.
They need a break from it.
Exactly. And that is also quite cool that in this world we get to understand them from a very far away yet very close kind of manner that is through the internet. You don't really know them, but you kind of know them a little.
By the way, aren't you curious to know whether it's faster to go to my house through the front or back?
As long as you are willing to do a very scientific research with different compare groups.
I don't have the answer because during the second part of the study, halfway home, I got a phone call and I was like, no. So I lost count.
You're not dedicated enough.
I got to start it again.
You should hire a group of people doing that research.
It's true. I need to outsource, don't
yes.
I? Yeah.
And every year we celebrate the young generation in different ways. There's even an International Youth Day. We talk about the serious stuff about them and we try to, of course, help them in different ways, support them through the initiatives in the society, through government strategies and policies. But I think sometimes a little connection from the human side and little understanding them and emotionally supporting the fact that they do not want to, maybe be hardworking 24/7 all the time is also what they need. It might also be.
Nobody wants to be hardworking 24/7,
right?
So it's easy to understand.
So if you're listening and you're a young person, happy International Youth Day and happy every day. 青年节快乐 and 希望你们每一天都可以很快乐。And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。See you next time.
Bye bye.